Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be on this DIY all the time repurpose candle jars. I don't know about you, but I love me some good smelling candles, and for some reason I can never find myself actually able to throw them away once they're done. So I've kind of just been stockpiling them over the years, but I am completely and finally ready to repurpose them. So let's begin. So for this DIY, I'm only going to be repurposing 8 candle jars, just leaving the rest aside for other ideas that I have. But as you can see here, I've already been using these jars for storage. Unfortunately, the things that I have placed in the jars have melted into the wax. I kind of forgot I placed things in there and then placed the jars in the garage, where obviously it gets extremely hot. But I am going to show you the absolute easiest way to pop the wax out of these candle jars. So as you can see, there are little cracks in the wax, and that is because I placed these jars in the freezer for 24 hours, which then created the cracks here. And all you have to do after taking them out of the freezer is just take a butter knife to the edge and just kind of pop it right in there, and there you go. The wax popped right on out. I was absolutely just taken away by how fast and easy this process was. I thought it was going to be like a long, messy kind of process to get the wax out, but it absolutely wasn't. So again, just take your butter knife, take it to the edge of the jar, and then you're just going to pop it right in, and then the wax pops right on out. I was actually surprised how easy it was to pop out the wax on thicker candles like this one right here. But unfortunately, it wasn't always so easy just to pop the wax right out of the jar. As you can see, I am struggling with this candle right here. It was a lot thicker than the previous one, so I'm not sure if that's maybe a reason as to why. But I did keep going in with my butter knife, kind of just scraping around the rim of the jar along the candle wax, hoping that I would kind of make it a little looser, a little easier to pop out, but to no avail, I wasn't able to get it out. And then I go in with the butter knife a few more times, and then you'll see in a few seconds, right about here. I went a little too much with my force on the butter knife, and here you see that I actually ended up cracking this candle jar. So unfortunately, I did have to throw this one away. But it's alright, I do have 3 more to go, I think. So here is another candle wax here. Just because of everything that melted in it, it wasn't so easy to pop this one out, which isn't a problem at all. I just took that butter knife and just kind of started digging into the wax, just removing the wax piece by piece. And if the wick doesn't automatically pop out with the wax, you can easily just take it and nudge it a little bit with your hand and it'll pop right on out. Now the next 2 candle jars, I follow along this process here. Unfortunately, they didn't come out with one pop of the butter knife like the first few did, which isn't a problem. This is still easy to do. So I would just kind of stab at the wax until I broke up the wax into pieces, and then I was able to clear them out that way. So once you've removed all of the wax from the candle jars, it's time to start removing the stickers. So a lot of them are actually more plastic based than they are paper based stickers, so they're fairly easy to remove. Unlike this paper based one, it comes off in pieces, but you do want to remove as much as you can beforehand. But if you want to leave it as is, it's okay, because the next step is actually going to help loosen up the adhesive on the stickers to make this process a lot easier to remove them. So what you'll see with the next few candle jars is the paper-based sticker. I didn't remove them in its entirety. I ended up just leaving them there because they were just coming off on too many pieces, and I just left them so that I would just remove them on the next step. Now, if you don't have Goo Gone, like I don't have Goo Gone, this solution right here was actually a pretty good alternative to removing these stickers. So all it is some hot water with some dish soap. The dish soap I'm using is your typical Blue Dawn dish soap. And again, it is in hot water mixed with a decent amount of soap, and you just want to leave your candles inside that water for about 20 to 30 minutes. It'll just kind of loosen up the adhesive and the sticker itself. Then you just want to take an old sponge to the actual stickers themselves and then just kind of go to town and clean up the jar as much as possible. And just like that, you'll see that the sticker is gone and the jar is clean and ready to go. Then you'll just follow these same exact steps for each of your candle jars. Here you'll actually see me taking away the glue that was under the wick on the inside of the candle, which will happen, but again, it's simply easy to remove once it's been in the water for some time. Just kind of take maybe your fingernail or that butter knife to it, and then the glue on the bottom of the wicks will just remove fairly easily. The great thing about this too is if you have any black residue on your candle jar just from the smoke of lighting your candles, of course, just as easily as the sticker and the glue comes off, so does that black residue with the sponge. Now this candle here did give me a little bit of trouble. Of course, I wanted uniformity with all my candle jars and I wanted each one crystal clear, so I did have to remove this purple layer here. And if you have the same thing going on with your candle jar, I just kind of take my nail to the actual layer and just kind of start scraping it, which will then start giving you that crystal clear jar underneath it. And then with the sponge, you just kind of scrub at it for a little bit harder than you would on the candle jars from the previous ones, but at one point it does come out crystal clear. Now this one here, I noticed there's 2 layers of that color and I just didn't think it was worth the work, so I just put it aside and I'm going to leave it for the next DIY. So here I have my 6 crystal clear candle jars ready to store whatever I want in them. So I'm first starting with your basic necessities in these jars. Of course, some cotton pads in one jar, some cotton balls in another. Then I place some Q-tips in a separate jar, just things that I can put on top of my vanity that'll look really nice, clean, modern, you know, refreshing, opposed to just the packaging that it comes in. Or you can kind of just switch it up a little bit. I also ended up using some lipsticks and some chapsticks in another jar. There I go, hitting the camera, so sorry for that camera shake. But here are the lipsticks and the chapsticks. Then I placed some scrunchies in another along with a ton of bobby pins, because as you can see I just had a little plastic like lid that I was using. Not the cutest thing, it was small, which is nice, but I wanted something a little more sleek to put my things in, so I'm just adding a ton of more bobby pins now that I actually have the space for them. And lastly that I use are a ton of hair clips. I just like hair clips. It's easy just to get the hair out of my face because I have a ton of it. So I just placed that in the last one. But the great thing about these is you can place absolutely anything in them. You can place change or snacks, maybe even candy. You can put a plant in one of them. The possibilities are endless. That's why I absolutely love this DIY.